just curious, Ron was saying, that early on, obviously, you guys didn't do a good job maybe carrying guys into the proper area and zone and whatever. What do you think clicked maybe for some of the coverage concepts that you guys were trying to execute early on that maybe fell short on that first touchdown drive for Philadelphia?
You're referring to our first ball game. We started slow. We weren't taking care of the details of our assignment the way we need to, and it was not just in the back end. It was throughout our defense. We gave them a couple of third down game and keep coming after the team one play at a time. And I know it's kind of cliche-ish, but it is a fact that gives you a chance to come out of it, which we did, and then we really put our stamp on the game as the game continued. We really put our stamp on it.
Hey, Jack. Pete Haley with NBC Sports Washington. A lot of your bigger names produced against the Eagles, but one guy who was out there a lot and flashed was Cam Curl. I'm just curious what you've seen out of him to trust him so much, especially for a seventh rounder after a short offseason.
Well, yeah, Cam did a tremendous job for us. I've told the guys numerous times, it doesn't matter how you get here, it's what you do with your opportunity. And whether you were undrafted or drafted later or taken early, it doesn't really matter. It's about performing for the football team, and I think he's done that from day one. Cam has really been, just a quick learner and a good football player, and he earned his way into the ball game through his efforts throughout practice, and he played well. So it's a bright spot when guys develop and they're doing things you want them to do, and when they do that, you give them a chance to play.
Thank you.
Hey, Jack, I know you want your defense to be downhill and pretty aggressive. When you face a quarterback like Kyler Murray, who can obviously get out of the pocket, ran for almost 100 yards last week, I wonder if you want your guys to stay aggressive to keep that identity, or if you want to maybe be a little more cautious in chasing after him this week.
Yeah, I think, to me, in terms of specific game plan thoughts, I'll stay away from that. But we recognize we have a tremendous challenge, this super talented young man. And, we recognize it. All you have to do is put on the tape. All of last year, he's special. He's got tremendous abilities, and we have to make sure that we're doing all we can to help keep him contained.
Thank you.
Hey, Jack, John Keim, ESPN. Along those lines, how much did you see him kind of wear down the 49ers defense late in the game? And how important is that to just kind of keep your guys fresh throughout the game?
Yeah, that's the challenge, obviously. Cliff with the air raid system, they want to run a lot of plays, and eventually you're either not able to keep up with them and you make mistakes, or they wear you down, and then they have guys with speed that are running all over the field. It looks like they have a joystick in a video game. So we've got that's the challenge in front of us. We've got to play good defense, and we've got to find a way to not allow them to possess the ball and not allow them to score points, and help our football team win any way we can. And we know that the challenges of going against this type of system is they're going to want to run a lot of plays, and we're going to have to be able to match that.
Thank you.
You bet.
Hey, Jack, Randall Walker with The Athletic. I was just curious, what was it like for you to be back on the sideline? Obviously, it's been 3 years since you were in a coaching position of any kind. Just what was it like for you being back out there on Sunday? I guess what were some of the things that, you enjoyed the most, or things that you're like a little rusty there?
Back in the saddle, felt great. The only thing really that was different was not having fans there. I missed that. I missed the fans. I really like to take it all in. I like to experience it all, and part of the joy of doing what I do is to have that experience on game days where, the fans are fired up. Either on the road they're against you, or at home they're for you, but just feeling the emotion of the fans, I missed that. I really did, and so I hope we get back to having fans soon. I really did miss them. So all you fans out there, missed you, man. It was we share the highs and the lows, with the fans, and so I miss that interaction. But in terms of being on the sideline and doing my thing, yeah, I felt like I was just back in the saddle.
Thank you, Jack.
Nikki, are you on? Let's go to Matt Paris.
Hey, Jack. Just wanted to ask about Ryan Kerrigan. What does it do? He only played 22 snaps, but he was still really productive. When you guys have a rotation, what does it do for the defense overall when a guy is taking maybe the most advantage of his reps and getting that production in a limited scale?
Well, it's a great example of what it should look like. He's just doesn't surprise me. He's been the consummate professional. And the idea is that he's an older player. He's not going to be able to generate, 70 snaps a game anymore and make it, through a season. But we feel like, that he's got the ability to still play at a high level and really help our football team win. And we like him just smaller doses, but not saying it has to be down to 20. It may be more than that. But I love the approach of having a guy be able to set the example of what it looks like to be a pro, handle your business, be prepared, take advantage of the reps you get, and remain very, very positive in everything he does. He's a professional every day, giving great examples of what it should look like. So super happy for him, and obviously the football team's, all-time sack leader now. So that's tip of the cap for that. That's outstanding.
Thanks.
Hey, Jack, Ben Standig with The Athletic. Kevin Pierre-Louis was a player that you and Ron talked about during leading into the season as somebody to keep an eye on, and obviously he played, I think, all but one snap on Sunday. What did you think of his performance, and what did you think of his performance?
Yeah, really pleased with him. He's a really good football player. We had one, really glaring technique error on a tight end, on coverage on a tight end that he can do in his sleep, and I have all the confidence in the world that he'll do that at a much higher rate. But he let one get away that I would say let get away from him technique wise. But other than that, I thought he played very well, and he's going to be a really good player for us.
And just to sort of follow up on that, obviously one element he has is speed, and it seems like that was an emphasis for you guys. How important? What do you think of the speed element for you guys, just broadly on defense on Sunday?
Well, we covet speed. We're looking for speed. He's got speed, So it's in today's NFL. You've got to be able to play in space. You've got to be able to match the speed in space, and more and more offenses are stretching the field not just vertically but horizontally, and they're getting people into space. And there were a couple key plays in the game where he showed up with his speed and was able to make plays to keep it, go from 2nd and 4 to keep it to 3rd and 4 because he made a great tackle, used his speed to close on a play on the sideline. So those are the kind of things that you get when you have speed on the field. And I think he's a super player, and we're excited to have him.
Michael Phillips. Scott Abraham, if you're on and you have one.
Hey, Coach. Yes, Scott Abraham, ABC7. I asked the same question to Coach Rivera earlier. It seems like a lot of the fan base is so excited about the debut of Chase Young. In a sense, they want to anoint him into the Hall of Fame already, that he's done such a good job, but obviously he's a rookie. He's still growing. Do you have a private conversation maybe with Chase during this week to kind of, in a sense, ignore the noise and just focus and be level-headed in a sense?
It's not necessary to have that conversation. This young man has got his head on right. He's got designs on playing great football. He's very serious about his approach. He's not paying any attention to any of that noise out there. He's focused on getting ready for the Cardinals, understanding the matchup, who he's going against, how he needs to attack that guy, where he needs to be within our structure of our defense and things. And so, no, that's where his focus is, where it should be, and I love that about him. And that's been from day one. That's been how he conducts himself. And as I mentioned earlier, having a guy like Kerrigan around, is a great role model because that's the guy that does it the right way every day. And so, I think you're just seeing a consistent guy that's going to be consistent. He just happens to be young, but he's a consistent player and he works hard at it.
Les Carpenter?
Hey, Jack. I was wondering how much you have to balance, or if there is a balance that you have to strike between not having the preseason games and wanting to kind of look at guys and see different combinations and things, while at the same time playing games for real and games that count.
I really haven't spent a lot of time worrying about what we didn't have. Just kind of used the structure that we had in place that Coach Rivera set out for us in terms of how we were going to approach it and preparing, and just look to get that done. And that's so here we are going into week 2 and dialing up this opponent and have very no thoughts about what wasn't or what was over the lead up period that we had in preparing for this season. It's really all about recognizing the challenges in front of us and getting ready for this opponent.
Thanks.
All right, guys, that's it for today. Thanks so much, Coach Del Rio.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Jack. Thank you all.